By the way, you know that one video that you see with Jonah Hill being interviewed, and he's kind of losing his cool, and he says, "So how's it feel like you're like that fat guy in Hollywood, right? You're like that fat guy in Hollywood." He's like, "Can we ask next question?" He said, "Well, I'm just asking this because in Hollywood you were the fat guy, now you're the skinny guy, but you're still the fat guy. Does that help your career?" And you can tell he's getting irritated, right? And I think he went to Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel's like, "Wow, you actually smell very good." And he says, "Why would you ask that question?" I just didn't see you as somebody that would smell very good. Why not? And he's not being funny. He's actually being irritated. It's like, dude, what are you doing? So when you see him going through what he's going through, and you've recreated yourself, does that hurt the brand? Because, hey, who's the best guy that we can get that can play XYZ? It's Jonah. Okay, let's get him. Who's the best guy? Now we got to... Does it hurt the brand to position the actor in a role that maybe would have worked when he was not in shape instead of being in shape?
Typecasting, essentially.
Does it hurt Jonah's brand, or did it hurt my brand?
Both of you. I mean,
I don't think it hurt Jonah's brand. Jonah is a very, very funny person. He's very witty. He's written a lot of the stuff that he's done. So that's a whole other universe from what I do. I don't do that. I don't create material for myself, which, if I was capable of doing that, maybe I'd have a much better career than I do. I'm very happy with my career, but you know what I mean? Like Jonah Hill's clearly on a much higher level than I'm on. So I don't think it's hurt Jonah's brand at all. And if you see him now, he's so happy.
Oh my God.
His happiness infects me. I look at him and I know there was a rough patch there, right? And I think and I don't know, we haven't talked, he's a buddy of mine too. We haven't talked that specifically about this, but something has washed over him and he has let go of something and he doesn't give a fuck anymore. The media's out there trying to, the media does shit where they try, like they did it to me too. Now they're nice to him, but there's a minute where you lose weight and they just want to criticize you and say like, you're not going to get work, or here's the downside. Look at his loose skin. Look at all this negative stuff. And they were doing that to him a little bit, and he just said, "Fuck you, I don't care." And he radiates inner peace and happiness now. Like it's marvelous. For me, yeah, it's affected my career a little bit. I just had a movie out a couple weeks ago called Dog, which I'm super happy with.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it's a good
congratulations.
movie. Thank you. So it hasn't kicked me out of Hollywood at all, but I also can look at my movie career prior to doing television and going like, well, doing television might have affected my movie career. You know what I mean? And I lost a sizable amount of weight at that point.
Doing television, is it a different? Okay, so what's a promotion in your world? Is it feature, or is it having a television show that stays for 3, 4, 5, 6 years?
I'll just put it to you this way: the most money I ever got paid for a movie was a movie called Mr. Woodcock, which wasn't a huge hit, but it was a fun movie. And the next thing I did was television, and I did television for 5 years. And if you do a television show for 7 months straight, you want to take those 5 months off. Mm-hmm. You don't want to go and do another movie. So I'm going.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah. So they're coming to
banging
me.
a teacher or something. What was that? What was that whole thing about?
He was the mean PE coach that then starts hooking up with one of the moms.
Right.
And
not Stifler's mom, but
right, Stifler's mom.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's not Stifler in that movie. Coming out of My Name is Earl ends. I've not done a movie in a few years, and now I'm like, okay, let's go do movies again. And movies were kind of like, well, you're a TV guy now, And so then it was doing pilots and more TV series. So, I can't say it's only weight loss that has, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So this paid you the most?
Most.
Till today?
Of any movie I've ever done.
Movie.
Yeah.
This paid you the most. Mm-hmm. Wow.
What was your role in this movie? Can you pull up?
I played his best friend, and me and him were, trying to track down dirt on Woodcock to break up him and his mom. But see, I wasn't at that point as big as I was in Remember the Titans.
Not even
No,
close.
not even close. No, not even close. You, what do you weigh there? No, you're small
Probably
there.
way smaller
300
there.
pounds there.
Wow. Well, back to the Jonah Hill thing about, I think there's a part, and even with your situation, there's a part of, I think just the human condition. I don't know if this is Hollywood, but when you're so used to something and you change, you're like, oh, no, that's not who you are. You're the fat guy. What are you doing?
Right.
Right? You know, hey,
But
you're
I
on
think-
TV, buddy. You're
Right,
not a movie.
exactly.
There's part of that.
Once you do TV and it's like, it's a successful TV show, people are like, no, you're that character, right? When you're doing movie after movie, especially me, where I'm not a leading man, so I'm not the guy in the movie. You know,
Right.
Denzel Washington, people probably have some sense of, I know who Denzel Washington is, right? He's this guy, right? And if he suddenly did a sitcom, people would be like, what the fuck is
weird.
Denzel
Yeah.
Washington doing? He's not a sitcom guy, you know, where he's playing like the goofy dad. People would be freaked out.
I would be freaked out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. So would I.
Yeah.
And so TV people, you know, the other differences it was explained to me once was like Brad Pitt, I believe, and I could be totally off here, Brad Pitt was talking to Johnny Galecki. Johnny Galecki was on Roseanne and then that math sitcom. I'm blanking on what it's
Big
called.
Bang Theory.
Big Bang
right?
Theory.
Yeah. Blonde dude.
No, he's got.
Oh,
dark
no,
hair.
the glasses. He
Yeah.
was, he was Darcy's husband. Or
So-
Roseanne.
Johnny Galecki had $100 million contract on that show. He was making a fortune, and Brad Pitt said to him, "Yeah, the difference between you and me is you're inside their house every week. You're in their living room. I'm in a movie theater, so people are not coming up to me going, hey,' like people actually think." They know you when you're on TV versus when you're a movie star, there's some separation. You got to go, and it might be
There is
changing
a big
now.
difference.
Very interesting.
It might be changing
Yeah.
now because a lot of these movies are in the house too immediately, right? But it's also not serialized. So it's like, this is it. This is the movie. You don't get an episode 2 through possibly 100 of a movie.
Right. But when you're kind of talked about like, you're that guy. You're that. I mean, a lot of people in Hollywood or even in TV struggle with that. I mean, like Dustin Diamond, no matter what role he ever did, that was Screech.
Yeah.
Straight up. Mario Lopez, who hosted one of Pat's big events, Mario's been able to navigate. He's not AC Slater when you see that guy. Still, to
He's
this-
everywhere.
He's everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you
I
turn on
I
a
see
hotel.
Mario
he's there.
Hotel. I was about
exactly.
to say hotel. Yeah.
He's
No,
everywhere.
and the way my career started in movies, I was in American History X and then Remember the Titans and then Blow. Those are 3 very, very different characters, right?
Right.
And so you're not, I'm massive in all of them, but you're not pigeonholing me into, oh, I know everything about that guy, because then the next week I'm doing something completely different, or the next
So
6
what
months.
do they say when they see you? Like, was it different based on different movies that were out? Like when
Yeah.
people would see you in public, what would they say?
It really is. It depends on their age and what they're
Was
into.
there ever a person that was upset with you because who you were in a movie, a role you played in a movie?
I have had a
You know what I'm asking?
Yeah,
Like,
I have had a few people upset with American History X and offended by it, and I'm kind of perplexed because I think American History X was actually an important movie and painted
Ending. Oh yeah.
Yeah, painted a real picture of stuff that happened, especially you from Los Angeles. You know, Orange County in the 90s was a scary place. There were some bad dudes down there. That stuff existed. I don't think it really exists like that as we portrayed it. I mean, I'm sure there are pockets in America, but it was easy to go down to Orange County and find some racist skinheads in the 80s or the 90s. Not so easy now. But like it was important in that way. And so to have somebody just like, the language was bad, you guys were so evil, I can't believe you did that, it confuses me.
Yeah, that's kind of how I process it. Like somebody comes, oh, you know what? You did this. And because emotionally you're connected to the movie, you're like, I can't believe you killed them in a movie.
Do you think that's more related to TV shows though, or movies?
But people don't seem to have a problem with any of the TV shows I've done.
Really interesting. But is that also due to the characters? Because I know, for instance, there are certain characters, like you mentioned in the TV shows, where they're in the living room week after week, year after year, in many cases, stuff like that, where there's TV shows where I think of a bad guy and that's all I see him as. Even when you see him in a movie in a different role, you're like, no, you're that dirtbag from that TV show.
Yeah.
And I think that given that you're in there longer and you're playing that role as opposed to a movie where you're a bad guy for 2 hours and then I go on with my life, maybe that could be more of an offset as opposed to the TV show.
I've played so few bad guys. I've played really like one. I'm trying to rack my brain.
Other than American History X,
like I don't think there's another one that I've done where I've been like a real legit bad guy.
Is that by choice or is that by casting?
I have nothing against playing a bad guy. I just haven't had many opportunities.
Well, that's good.
I'm a sweet guy.
Yeah,
exactly.
They see you as a good guy. They don't see you as a...
Louis Lastic, baby. You're bringing the team together.
If you enjoyed this short clip, click over here to watch another short clip. And if you want to watch the entire episode, the entire podcast, click here.